Thanks for being here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. So glad you're joining us. Meteorologist Evan Irani has been tracking Priscilla. We do have a weather impact alert. Want to talk about what's going on here?
Yeah, we're talking about mainly an impact to our mountains. However, countywide, we could see some of those showers start to pop up. So I want to start off with what we got for today, where you notice that, of course, mountains are most impacted. This is pretty typical for us. However, this storm is coming in from the south, and parts of Mexico, especially to the south of us, are going to be picking up on the more impactful parts of this storm. Also to the east of us in Imperial County, there's plenty of rain that will be coming through as well. But those showers are starting up already, it looks like, over the mountains and deserts. 73 out by the coast, 83 inland, so still staying warm for this afternoon. Vanessa Paz has a check of how things are looking as far as traffic goes this morning.
Good morning. Overall, things are pretty quiet on your Thursday, Friday Eve. This is what it looks like. Fairly dry overall across our major freeways. This is the 805 as you make your way northbound in from the South Bay. Meanwhile, this is what it looks like on the 5 in both directions right at Oceanside Boulevard. All right, we have a couple of things happening. 52 West, right where it intersects with the 805. We're tracking a crash. Bottom of the Golden Triangle. It's not causing any slowing, though, as of last check. And this one just came in. It looks like we have reports of crews working on some sort of downed line, and that's on the 76 just east of Cowger Canyon. That's near the Palo Mesa area, so that could cause slowing where the casino is in case you travel along that route. We will continue to bring you updates throughout the morning if that changes. Back to you guys.
This morning, Israel and Hamas are one major step closer to ending their 2-year-long war. Yesterday, the two parties and the U.S. announced a Phase 1 ceasefire deal that calls for the release of all remaining Israeli hostages.
Hostages will come back. They're all coming back on Monday.
For Hamas after
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is convening his government today to approve the deal, calling it a national and moral victory for Israel. Hamas says the deal will also lead to the exchange of Palestinian prisoners and the entry of more aid into Gaza. This announcement comes 2 years since the bloody Hamas attack on Israel that killed about 1,200 people, with another 251 taken hostage. The Hamas-run health ministry says more than 67,000 Palestinians have been killed during Israel's offensive in Gaza. On social media, President Trump referred to the agreement's terms as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace.
We have new details this morning after a child was pinned under a truck in this crash in Encinitas. Take a look what happened here. We have learned the driver was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. This happened just before 6 p.m. yesterday, right at the Gelato 101 shop that's on West D Street and South Coast Highway 101. Deputies say it started when a Chevy Silverado hit the back of a Toyota Prius, then veered off the road and into the building. A boy inside was then trapped under the truck. He was conscious and breathing and then taken to Rady Children's Hospital. The driver, identified now as Edward De La Torre, was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and taken into custody. An affordable housing project in the Midway District finally complete. Later today, we're going to get a chance to check it out.
This is called Pacific Village, and it will support people experiencing homelessness. CBS 8's Chris Grove joining us live now with details on this project and how it was funded. Chris.
Yeah, so for those of you familiar with this area, this used to be the Ramada, but now it will be Pacific Village, which will have an opportunity for those experiencing homelessness to have permanent housing and then also access to services. And this has been a couple years in the making. We actually got a tour of the construction that was going on back in October of last year. This is some video that we'll show you now after being here just outside live. This is being made possible because of a key state program called Operation Home Key. That was started back in 2020, which allocated state funds and through loans and grants to cities, counties, and municipalities in order to try to turn other types of buildings, whether they be hotels, motels, or other types of buildings, into affordable and or permanent housing for the homeless, shelter type areas. Now, in this specific case, again, we had Operation Home Key. You have the city, you have the county, the San Diego Housing Commission, all involved in making this 62-unit housing available. Now, there are going to be more than a dozen units set aside for homeless veterans, and there will be, as I said, services that will be provided here. From what we understand as well, too, is that there will be rent paid, but this will be subsidized as well, too, for those who are living here. They'll be able to pay what they can afford, and the rest will be subsidized through housing vouchers. Now, back out here live, this is also coming off the heels of an affordable housing project that opened up in downtown San Diego as well, too. We covered that yesterday, and that also had a significant amount of units that were set aside, not just for those who are low income, but also those experiencing chronic homelessness as well, too. Eric and Netta.
Chris Groh reporting there. Thank you, Chris. This morning, some lawmakers are considering smaller funding bills to reopen parts of the government 9 days into this shutdown. The Senate's top Republican says he could hold votes on standalone bills, including a defense appropriations bill. More than 1 million active duty troops could miss their next paycheck if this shutdown continues. The IRS just announced it is furloughing more than 34,000 employees, roughly half its workforce. Here at home, a rally will be held outside the federal building downtown at 10 a.m. to protest the government shutdown.
Today, a man will be back in court in Florida after being arrested in connection to the most destructive wildfire in Los Angeles history. Jonathan Rinderknecht, whose image you see right there, was arrested Tuesday. Investigators say he lived near Pacific Palisades and started a small fire on New Year's Day that smoldered underground before reigniting nearly a week later. The Palisades fire tore through 17,000 homes and killed 12 people. Although authorities have declined to speak on a possible motive, they do say the suspect prompted ChatGPT to generate an image of a burning forest in the months before allegedly starting the fire. Here at home, crews remain on scene at a wildfire in rural North County. This one is called the Sandia Fire, burned about 24 acres in Deluz before firefighters stopped its spread. It is now 90% contained. Glad to hear that. No structures were damaged. Firefighters continue to build on those containment lines, and they're putting out any remaining hot spots.
All right, here we are on this Thursday morning, getting closer to the weekend here. Is it going to be a wet weekend?
It looks like we could get some showers into the early portion of Saturday, like the earliest hours pre-sunrise. But beyond that, no. It seems like Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon will be shaping up very nicely, which is great for anyone making outdoor plans. For today and tomorrow, however, Thursday, Friday timeframe, we've got a little bit of wet weather still in the mix. 31% chance for today, 18% by tomorrow. And then it looks like while that chance dwindles Saturday through Monday, another storm could be coming our way from the north as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Afternoon high temperatures are going to be in the 70s and 80s, but right now out the door, we've got primarily 50s. 55 right now in Escondido, 58 in El Cajon, and 63 in San Diego. Want to make a point to mention what we already have out the door right now, because while the bulk of us are dry from the coast to about our mountains, you can already notice that first round of thunder and lightning already making its way through just along that San Diego County, Imperial County line. So Borrego Springs area might be picking up on some of that moisture as we speak, the more residual showers. As we get toward the morning hours, once the sun comes up, we'll be able to kind of notice where those clouds are exactly. But in the meantime, our models don't do the greatest jobs. Our infrared loops also don't give us the best interpretation of where those clouds are as they stand now. Here's Mount San Miguel looking north right now. It's a beautiful start to the day. I mean, you've just got some high clouds filtering on through. By all means, today is still a day where you can spend time outside along the coast and inland. Just be prepared for a quick pop-up shower or two in the mix. Highs in the 70s, some low 80s in Santee and El Cajon, 80 for Escondido, 77 for San Marcos, and 69 degrees in Encinitas. Vanessa Paz has a check of how things are looking on traffic this morning.
Hey, good morning. Things are fairly quiet. We do have a couple of issues. I'll get to those in a moment. I do want to start things off with a live look outside. This is 5 in both directions right at East Street. Meanwhile, this is also the 5, but in the North County right at Oceanside. You can see that things are flowing pretty smooth as you're making your way in and out of that area. All right, look out for a downed utility line. This is on the 76 at Cowger Canyon Lane, or road rather. This is actually near the Paula Mesa Casino. Traffic is currently down to 1 lane in both directions, and you could actually see that there's a little bit of slowing in both directions as well through that pocket. Meanwhile, we're also tracking another hazard. It looks like reports of a breakdown issued on the 8 West right at Greenfield, and that could cause some slowing as you make your way towards El Cajon from Granite Hills. Big rig reportedly on the shoulder there. All right, let's go ahead and see what's happening in terms of speeds. We are seeing a little bit of a light brake tapping coming in from Chula Vista headed towards the mile of cars. Free and clear on the 805 headed northbound. Same deal across the Coronado Bridge. And if you're traveling westbound either from Santee, La Mesa, Grossmont, you're not looking at any major delays nor issues. Average speeds anywhere between 63 to 75 miles per hour. Same deal coming in from Oceanside and Escondido. And here's what it looks like in terms of those travel times. 10 to about 30 minutes right now headed in from Encinitas to the top of the Golden Triangle. Escondido traveling southbound towards Rancho Bernardo, Rancho Penasquito. It's about a 10-minute drive for you. 78 west from the 15 in about 15 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. No major delays nor issues in from the East County. And we're so far so good in from the South Bay, 10 to 15 minutes for those folks in from San Ysidro, as well as that 54 connector. All right, 6:11 is the time. Let's go ahead and see what your border wait times look like in from San Ysidro this morning. We'll take you over 2 hours. A little bit of a different story, though, coming in from Otay Mesa's port of entry. We're looking at about an hour and a half wait.